For centuries, a princess represented a lofty ideal, a fantasy. And when Walt Disney crafted his enchanting adaptations of those classic fairy tales, Snow White, Cinderella, and Aurora were all perfect princesses. And interestingly, they were reflected in real life by Princess Grace, a movie star turned royalty, whose Philadelphia family had more money than the Monaco royal family she married into. But then, when Disney animation returned to the princess genre with The Little Mermaid and what would become the beginning of the Disney animation renaissance, suddenly their princesses were embracing girl power, and in real life, the world was in love with Princess Diana, not a former movie star, but a nanny. Diana did have royal blood, though, as she was born into the House of Spencer, and like the Disney princesses at the time, she seemed to be able to do it all. Then today, as Disney animation enjoys its second renaissance, its princesses have moved beyond girl power to become simply realistic, which is reflected in Princess Kate, a truly modern-day woman with no royal heritage, whose parents run a mail-order party supply business and who married her college sweetheart, who just happened to be Prince William. And so, with our newest and perhaps most realistic Disney princess on the horizon, Moana, today let's rank the Disney princesses by today's standards, and that's by how realistic and relatable they are. Please note that for the sake of this video, Elsa and Anna are considered Disney princesses because the only reason Disney hasn't made them official princesses is because they're far more lucrative with their own merchandising line. And there are so many Disney princesses these days, not all of them were able to make this top 10. The 10th most realistic Disney princess is Ariel, which might seem like a strange choice, as when she first debuted in 1989, there were a lot of complaints that she was too boy crazy. But that's exactly what makes her so realistic. Any woman who says she's never obsessed over a crush is, well, lying, either to us or herself. And to be fair, Ariel wasn't just obsessed with Prince Eric, but with the human world itself. And with all the fangirls out there, we know this to be true as well. Plus, some could even argue that Ariel was ahead of her time, as fandom is enjoying an all-time high right now, with movies, TV, comic books, and video games, which girls love just as much as boys and women just as much as men. That's right, Ariel is the fangirl princess. The 9th most realistic Disney princess is Rapunzel from Tangled. And it's interesting that she's so close to Ariel on this list, as they were designed by the same animator, Glenn Keane. His third and final Disney princess, the supermodel Native American Pocahontas, who can talk to the environment and doesn't even need a montage to fall in love with John Smith, did not make this list. Now, Rapunzel also has special powers with that hair, which, yes, keeps her from being super realistic and super relatable. But luckily, she's one well-rounded character. Like many suburban girls, Rapunzel learns all different kinds of skills to occupy her time. But while suburban girls just have to keep themselves busy over the summer, Rapunzel had her whole childhood to fill. But then there's also that relationship with Flynn Rider, perhaps the most realistic Disney romance yet. First they hate each other, then they're friends, and then they realize they have feelings for each other. How many couples can relate to that timeline? Yes, Rapunzel is the girl next door princess. The 8th most realistic Disney princess actually comes from Pixar, and that's Merida. She's so realistic she doesn't even sing. And she's also one of the few princesses on this list created by a woman, in this case director-writer Brenda Chapman. Now, Chapman was eventually sidelined on the film Brave, but let's not hold that against her creation. What makes Merida so relatable and realistic is that falling in love and getting married is not her first priority. In fact, it's not even on her radar. But also, like many women, Merida's parents are worried about the effect her non-traditional ways will have on the quality of her life in the long term, and boy, is that relatable. This leads to a very complicated relationship with Merida's mother, so complicated that Brave didn't even need to include a villain to shake things up. Merida shows she's willing to do whatever it takes to do what she feels is right, and that makes her the activist princess. The 7th most realistic Disney princess is Jasmine, and right now I bet a number of you are upset she's not higher up on this list. Why not? Well, let's remember that Jasmine has never been the star of her own story, but instead is always riding shotgun next to Aladdin. And with the exception of Jafar, Jasmine has lived a pretty charmed life as a member of Agrabah's royal family. Plus, a hot guy just walks into her life on the back of an elephant, will take no for an answer, and has his very own genie, which is totally like having a black Amex card. But despite all this privilege and luck, Jasmine is still beloved by fans for her compassion, quick thinking, and sense of adventure. Not to mention, she gets to wear pants. So following in the hallowed footsteps of business-savvy fashionistas like Cher Horowitz and the Kardashians, Jasmine is the Beverly Hills princess. The sixth most realistic Disney princess is Belle, which makes sense as she was created in response to the anger over boy-crazy Ariel. As the song says, her name means beauty, and you'd think that would make her totally unrelatable, right? But shrewdly, Disney didn't make Belle a supermodel knockout like Pocahontas or a bikini-wearing beach babe like Ariel. Instead, Belle is certainly attractive, but a lot of her beauty comes from the inside, from her intellectual curiosity to her kindness. And perhaps it's because of her own inner beauty that Belle is able to recognize the Beast's inner beauty. On that note, the Beast is a total fixer-upper, isn't he? So many women come across a beast of a man they feel they can change, and sometimes we do. And of course, you can't think about Belle without thinking about reading, and countless women love to get lost in books. In fact, women do buy more books than men, and when a book has fans, it's almost always female fans. Plus, when you think about it, Belle's own story is like something right out of a good book, complete with its very own Mr. Rochester. This is why Belle is the literary princess. The fifth most realistic Disney princess is Tiana, whose dream isn't to marry a prince like her friend Charlotte, but instead to open her very own restaurant, just like real-life New Orleans chef and restaurateur Leah Chase. But while Tiana has dreams, she remembers what her daddy told her, that hard work is what really makes those dreams come true. Tiana is the only Disney princess to have a job, 2 jobs no less, and who wants to start her own business, from the ground up. Tiana knows that a successful businesswoman needs to know every aspect of that business, no matter how small, and also to care about the people who are a part of that business. And even when she's a frog, Tiana works hard, able to whip up a stew in the middle of the swamp. Then when Dr. Facilier offers her a shortcut, Tiana knows there are no shortcuts worth taking. That's why Tiana is the do-it-yourself princess. The fourth most realistic Disney princess is Moana. That's right, we haven't even met Moana yet, and she's already number 4 on this list. That's because one of the most important things about Moana is that she represents our changing society. Moana isn't a Western European princess, nor does she look like one. And as Black and Latino moviegoers flex their box office muscle, they're of course eager to see characters like themselves up on that screen. Characters like Moana. Moana's body shape is also crucial. We're fighting a major battle right now to curb unhealthy eating, with water actually set to overtake soda as the most popular bottled drink in the US by 2017. But part of eating healthy is feeling good about yourself, and it's hard to feel good about yourself when only one body shape is promoted as beautiful, which is weird because there are a lot more body shapes than just one. Also, look at all the ridiculous discussion in the media right now about whether or not Lupita Nyong'o is beautiful. Yes, Moana is our best hope yet for a successful Disney princess who doesn't wear a ball gown. We'll know even more about her soon, but for now, Moana is the new beauty princess. The third most realistic Disney princess is Mulan. Like Merida, she feels held back by the constraints of her culture, yet unlike Merida, she still understands and respects those traditions. She also understands her family's concern for her future and shares their concern. Mulan wants to fall in love and she wants to be a part of her society, but she just wants to do both as an equal. That means exploring gender roles, a complicated process that women are having a tough time redefining even today. Women are often accused by men of wanting to have it all in a brash and aggressive way, but the reality is that women want to have it all as Mulan does, peacefully and with compromise. And that's what makes Mulan so relatable. She is the career woman princess. Now, the 2 most realistic Disney princesses are, no surprise, Frozen's Elsa and Anna. Perhaps that's another reason Disney has been reluctant to make them official Disney princesses, as they ice the competition with ease. And it's worth noting that both characters were created by Jennifer Lee, who did not get kicked off of her movie. A big part of what makes Elsa and Anna so popular is that they're not just sisters but friends, which is something everyone can relate to. Since their creation, Disney princesses have only interacted with their love interests, their parents, their fairy godmothers, their villains, or cute little animals, never each other, and that's revolutionary. While men have long been famous for their camaraderie, women are often seen as trying to tear each other down in order to be the last one standing. Having two Disney princesses helps to make that no longer seem like a desirable goal. And in that spirit, it seems almost wrong to rank them, but well, this is a top 10 list, so I gotta do what I gotta do. Anna comes in second because she's often accused of being a Rapunzel ripoff, and there's quite a lot of evidence to support that theory, from their demeanor to their cabin fever. But what makes Anna different and even more relatable than Rapunzel, besides the way she looks when she wakes up, is that she's the one who values her friendship with Elsa the most. She continually pushes for it and doesn't have a competitive or jealous bone in her body. That makes Anna the best friend princess. As for Elsa, there's a reason she struck such a chord with Disney princess fans everywhere, and that's because she doesn't feel comfortable in her own skin. Even though anyone would tell her she should be proud of the special skills that make her unique, Elsa finds herself fighting a losing battle with her insecurities and takes it out on herself and those she loves. And that's perhaps the most relatable of all, self-doubt and the fear of not fitting in. That makes Elsa the Misfit Princess. So those are the top 10 most realistic Disney princesses. Which Disney princess do you relate to the most and why? Be sure to share your thoughts down below. I'm Grace Randolph, and you can check out more Beyond the Trailer Disney Princess videos right now.